Welcome back to Build First, the Authors Foundation podcast. I'm Paula Banks, and this is the show for authors who are done guessing and ready to build something that actually holds weight. I'm glad you're here. Now let's get into it. So today we are on pillar 2. And this one I know a little bit about because this is the pillar that I skipped the hardest. Like I told you before in the last episode about the consequences of me skipping this pillar, the school that wanted the book order, the opportunity that walked right on up out the door because I had nowhere to send them. No website, nada. So if you haven't listened to my Build Backwards story, go ahead and listen to that and then come back so you can learn more about pillar 2, which is a platform. So before I continue on, I want to clear up what platform actually means, because I think a lot of us, when we hear the word, we immediately think of social media. We think of followers, content, likes. And that's not what I mean when I say platform. So to me, your platform is your digital home. It's the infrastructure you own, control, and can rely on regardless of what any social media company decides to do tomorrow. And there is a significant difference between a presence on rented space and a home you actually own. So think of it like this. Every follower you have on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook lives on someone else's platform. So every post that you write, it sits on someone else's server. And all those connections that are built on that platform only exist as long as that platform decides to keep it. So in actuality, we don't own any of it. We are borrowing reach and hoping that the terms don't change. And honestly, they always do, because algorithms shift, reach begins to drop, and accounts are getting restricted all the time. So if your entire presence lives on rented space, you are literally one platform decision away from losing access to everything that you have built. So the difference between doing things on rented space and owning your own platform, it doesn't have those same types of vulnerability. So you own your website, your email list is yours, the system that you build on your own infrastructure, they operate on your terms. And again, if Instagram disappeared tomorrow, your owned platform would still be standing. It would still be business as usual. So what happens if someone comes to your site and you don't, what happens? So usually if you are working off of rented space, someone will find you on social media and they do not get moved to somewhere in something that you own. And the relationship ends the moment that they scroll past. So it's like they came, they saw, they left. And there's really no record of them and no way to reach them again. The relationship's over. It's gone. And multiply that by every person who has ever engaged with your content or, anything that you've done on social media and never made it to your email list. That's what I call an invisible leak. It's quiet, but it continues to grow and grow and grow, but in the wrong direction. And if it's not addressed, it gets worse and worse and worse. So now we're going to talk about what a functional author platform actually needs, because it doesn't have to be complicated and it doesn't have to be grand that most people think it has to. It just has to be intentional. So the first thing is a website that works. And by works, I'm not talking about being pretty. I mean functional and clear. So when someone ends on your website for the first time, they should be able to figure out 3 things within 5 to 10 seconds. Who you are, who you work for, and what to do next. If any of those 3 things are unclear, the website isn't doing its job, no matter how good it looks, no matter how pretty, no matter how much you spent on design. Those 3 things should be able to be answered in 5 to 10 seconds of someone landing on your site. So I see that a lot of author websites, they fail on that 3rd point. They have a bio, there's a book cover, we gonna have a nice picture of ourselves on this site, but there's no clear next step. The visitor, they'll read a little, they'll look around, see how it feels. If it doesn't feel right, they leave, and that means nothing has been captured, nothing moved them forward, and you never even know they were there. So that is a potential reader, a potential buyer gone because you were not able to capture their information. So the next step should almost always be joining your email list. That should be the next step, which brings me to the second thing that you need in your platform, and that is the lead capture. So a way for visitors to give you their email address so you can stay in touch with them. Without this, every single person who finds your website and leaves is just gone, like I said before. And the mechanics of this is simple. An email service provider like, MailerLite is the one that I use. Easy sign up form, name, address, simple. Email address, excuse me. And also, what are you going to give them in exchange for them signing up for your email list? Because that is very important as well. So for authors, we can give short resources, reading guide, a chapter excerpt. If you're a children's book author, you can give a worksheet or a coloring page. So you want to give something that gives the subscriber an immediate reason to say yes, and not just say yes, but to stay. And the third thing is traffic direction. So I know tons of authors who still send people to Amazon by default. That's just their default. But again, Amazon will give you your royalties, but that's it. You are not getting buyer information from Amazon. There is no relationships being built off of Amazon. There is no next step. The purchaser is not going to be entered into your ecosystem. But if you have your own platform, you need to have a direct purchasing option. So when someone is ready to buy, they come to you, and you not only get the sale, you get the reader. You get that relationship. You are able to start to build with them. And like Ashley, one of my author homegirls, says, super fans. You want to make them into a super fan. The only way that you can do that is getting them into your world, your community, your ecosystem. And that starts by getting them on your email list. So you can begin that process of them getting to know you, you getting to know them finding out more about who you are, your work, what you're about, your passion, your mission, why you're writing, the whole gambit. And that's important. So we want to make sure that when our site is up and our platform is good, that these three questions are able to be answered immediately. Okay, so take some time this week, go to your website. If you were a consumer coming to your website for the first time, are those three questions easily answered as soon as you touch down? If not, then it's time to rework some things so you get to have those questions answered. If you have them, you are on the right track. But take some time this week and make sure that you are being intentional about making your site intentional and clear. So when you have people come to your website, they know what you are about, and they know that you mean business. So that is a wrap on today's episode. But before you go, if you are not sure where you are in your author journey right now, take the free author reality check. It takes about 5 minutes or less, and it will show you exactly which of the 5 pillars need your attention first. The link will be in the show notes. Also, today, my book has dropped. Build First: Why Authors Build Backwards and How to Fix It. This book is an extension of the podcast, but it goes deeper. It really talks more in depth about the 5 pillars. It gives tips, it gives implementation, options and methods, and just things that are going to help you implement the 5 pillars, why they're so important, and how to get your foundation built, and will help you get your author business ready for success. Okay, and I'm super excited that it's dropping today. You can find the link in the show notes as well. Grab your copy. There's also a workbook that is available for purchase as well, so that you can work through the book and the workbook at the same time to really get you on the path of laying that foundation in infrastructure for your author business. So make sure you grab the book. And yeah, so Build First, Why Do Authors Build Backwards is available now. And as always, if something, stuck with you in this episode, please share it with another author in your circle who needs to hear it. That is the best way to grow this community, one author at a time. And in next week's episode, we are moving into Pillar 3, Product Pathway. Now, we're talking about what happens after someone buys your book and why most authors leave that door completely unopened. Now, when I say most authors, I mean me too, because I had no idea what the product pathway was, if I needed it. When I found out what it was, it was something that wasn't even on my radar. I'm excited about next week's episode to get into that and talk more about that. So that one's coming up next week. So as always, I am Paula Banks. And remember, build first, then let visibility do its job. And I will see you all in the next episode.